Every day trader talks about having the perfect profitable strategy, but the truth about that is that a strategy alone is not enough. But if you actually want to last in this game, if you want longevity, consistency, confidence, then you need a full trading system. Today, I'm going to break down the exact pillars that took me from a complete beginner to quitting my job to now almost a 7-figure trader. Before we start, I want to make this clear. I don't care if you have $100 or $100,000 or $100 million. Anyone can begin. I started curious, broke, but determined. So watch all the way through because I'm going to show you how you can go from zero to building your way up confidently. Real quick, let me tell you how I got into trading. So obviously everyone sees the numbers and the charts and the profits, and that's kind of how I came across it as well. Just scrolling, I knew about it, I heard about it, I was interested in financial markets. This was when crypto was also starting to take a mainstream audience, but honestly, it felt impossible and extremely intimidating. I didn't have some crazy background. My parents didn't go to college, and I honestly just wanted a better life for myself. I wanted options, I wanted freedom, I wanted the ability to do whatever I want whenever I want. I wanted to wake up and decide how my day went, not someone else. And ever since a little kid, I had this deep feeling like in my chest, in my heart, that I knew that I was destined for something more. I studied, I failed, I blew accounts, I blew a lot of money, and eventually I actually went to university to study finance and math. After that, I went to go work at a trading firm, and that really opened my eyes to what finance and financial institutions really think when it comes to trading. Still, I was working at an office job that wasn't as fulfilling as I had hoped. Then everything started to click, and I realized that I would so much rather prefer trading for myself. Now, trading did not just change my income, it changed my identity, it changed my purpose, it changed my confidence and the ability to do what I want when I want, exactly how I imagined it. And in the most genuine way, if I can do it, you can do it too. And there is nothing special about me besides the fact that I literally refuse to give up. You too deserve to live a life that you're excited to wake up to, a life of freedom, of abundance. And that life is already waiting for you. You just have to step into it. And the coolest part is that it is not just me. Megan, for example, works part-time as a nurse, and on the side, she makes an additional $4 to $5 grand a month trading. They're the same thing. She started back in college, and she's now making 4 figures per trade. Hundreds of students in my community, some who have made thousands and some who have made over 6 figures. The system works when you stay consistent, and the best part about it is that it is repeatable. Now you know where I come from and some of my students, how I'm able to invest and travel and live the life that I've really always dreamed of. Let's talk about how you can copy this system to make your first 6 figures in the market. Let me show you the same foundation that allowed me to build a $500,000 trading life. Here is the full system and roadmap that you're going to need if you want to become a profitable trader. It is not just about having one good strategy and one good setup. It is about having a full trading system that includes psychology, emotions, and risk management as well. So, first of all, why do most traders fail? Well, the number one thing is that they don't have a real plan. They just wake up and start taking random trades, and they don't actually have strict criteria that allow for only A+ setups. They also get impatient, so they expect results fast and don't understand that trading is a process. And the way you're going to see results is to treat it like a system and not try to just take huge risks to get big wins. So we're human, everyone has emotions, but fear and greed will drive traders, and they will forget about all of the logic and data that they had used in the past. And so being emotionally controlled is really, really important, as well as having risk management. So being aware of how to protect your capital and track performance. And then we obviously don't want to be chasing signals. We don't want to just be copying other people's trades without really knowing the reasoning behind it. And so what makes a profitable trader is obviously a proven edge. So having a specific setup or pattern that is tested and validated through data that you can resort to when maybe your emotions are heightened and stuff like that, because you need to have emotional control. You need to be able to stay disciplined and take only good setups, regardless of if you lost the last trade or won the last trade, and not letting those things get to you, so you don't get greedy, and so you don't turn to overtrading or revenge trading as well. And then obviously clear execution rules. This kind of goes with having a specific setup or pattern, but precise criteria for entries and exits and position management. Setting your limits on how many trades you're going to take a day, how large those positions are going to be, how big is your stop loss, what is your max loss for the day. And then having clear execution rules. So this kind of goes with having a specific setup, but also criteria for entries, exits, and position management. So this is going to be, when X, Y, and Z line up, I'm going to go long here. I'm going to have my stop loss here. I'm going to risk 5 contracts and then having those clear rules for yourself, like 2 trades a day max, are going to be really, really key to becoming a profitable trader. And then consistent risk management. Obviously, this is so important, never risking more than you can afford to lose on a single trade. We'll get into this a little bit more in a second as well. And then data-driven improvement. So making sure you're journaling trades, you're reviewing, why you entered the trade, why you exited there, and then also how you felt during the trade. Did you feel like it was a good trade? Did you feel like it was a bad trade? Were you confident in it? Stuff like that. So how are we actually going to build this trading system? So identify when you are trading. This is really important, and this can change every single day, but I think it's really important that when you sit down, you're going to dedicate a focused hour or two to trading, and that is when you're going to place trades. Not when you're in the car, not when you're on your phone, not when you're distracted at work. Make sure that you have at least an hour, and that could be at any time of the day. Remember that futures trade 23 hours a day, and so you can trade the first hour of New York session, you can trade Asia session, you could be more of a swing trader where you're holding positions for a few days, maybe even a few weeks, but being able to identify like, okay, this is the time that I am looking for trades, and this time only is really, really important. And obviously, like I said, it can change every day. Some days you're going to want to, when your schedule is like more flexible, you can trade maybe a New York session. If not, then you can trade at night. But making sure you identify like, I'm sitting down right now and this is when I'm going to place trades. So you also need to identify when you do not trade. So knowing when to sit out, choppy conditions, low volume, unclear structure, or mental fatigue. Maybe you're just really distracted and busy that day, or something is in the back of your mind and you're not really focused on trading. It's okay to just skip out. And then what setups do you take? So obviously this specify the exact patterns and conditions. So for me, I trade a lot of breakouts. And so that is something that I categorize before I start my trading day. Like, okay, I'm going to look for a breakout at this level. I'm going to look for a reversal at this level. And so identifying those setups is really, really important as well. And so you don't just take random trades. And then where are your stops and targets? Identifying your stop loss and your take profit is so important before you take the trade. So having predetermined exit points based on technical levels, not just random numbers or emotions. And then how do you review? Daily journaling process, weekly performance analysis, and then monthly system optimization. This is like seeing and reviewing what you did right, what you did wrong, what are things you can improve on what was your risk to reward, what was your win rate, what was your best setup that you took the most amount of times that ended up profiting. All of this stuff is really, really important when it comes to just like reviewing your trades. All right, risk management. So 1 to 2% maximum risk per trade. This is so important. Never risk more than you can afford to lose 50 times in a row. Now, obviously, hopefully you don't lose 50 trades in a row, but having that risk management as your first line of defense is really important to protect your capital. And that stop losses are non-negotiable. Set them, honor them, let the trade hit your stop, don't move them wider, and just take the loss. Like sometimes you just got to take a loss. And that's okay. Go on to the next trade. Don't take it to heart and just go on to the next one. And then risk is controlled before entering. So calculating your position size based on your stop distance is huge. Making sure you understand how many dollars you're risking, how many points you're risking, how many ticks you're risking, you enter the trade. And so the math of survival is super important. And I kind of like this example because you can be wrong more times than you are right and still make a lot of money in the market. And so with a risk to reward of 1 to 2, what does that mean? That means that if you risk $100, you're going to make 200. And so you either lose 100 or you make 200. That's what a risk to reward of 1 to 2 means. And so and if you have a win rate of 40%, so you only win 40% of your trades, you can still lose more trades than you win and remain profitable. Because even if you only win 4 out of 10 trades, the gains from your winners are going to outweigh your losses. And I like to kind of give this example because you do not have to be right all the time to make money in the market. And at the end of the day, a missed trade costs $0 and a bad trade can cost you everything. It can cost you confidence, it can cost you to overtrade and revenge trade. And so always better to miss a trade than to try and chase something or try to make something out of nothing. And then psychology and mindset is obviously super important when it comes to trading. So respecting the process over the excitement. Sometimes boring, consistent execution is going to take you way farther. Honestly, I know it's going to take you way farther than like trying to gamble and, go for these big crazy wins. And so when trading starts to get a little boring, that's how you know you're getting better. And then it's very important to trade what you see, not what you hope. So not keeping a trade, just hoping that it goes the right way, but respecting the fact that it's a losing trade and you need to just move on to the next good setup. And then staying calm through volatility, not getting FOMO, no revenge trading, emotional control is non-negotiable. And then accepting the fact that nothing works 100% of the time. So even a 70% win rate, which is quite high, means you're still losing 3 out of 10 trades, and you have to take those losers and embrace the uncertainty with it. And then master patience. Wait for your setup, wait for confirmation, wait for the right moment. Don't just rush into trades and jump into trades and try to chase things. You have to be patient. So what does a daily system in action actually look like beyond just a good strategy? So before the market opens, marking out your key levels, getting your mind right, reviewing overnight price action and structure, defining your setups and directional bias, affirming your discipline, saying to yourself, I follow my rules, not my emotions. Then during the market hours, when you're actually trading, execute only your predefined edge, so only execute the setups that you feel confident in. Size positions only when conditions are meeting all criteria, so don't just jump into random trades with a huge amount of size if things are moving fast. And then honor your stops and targets without hesitation. Stay present but detached from outcomes. So don't get mad at yourself when you take a losing trade, but realize a undisciplined loss is different than a disciplined loss. And then after market close, journal every trade with screenshots. Review both mistakes and winning trades. Track metrics like win rate, RR, expectancy, not just your profit and loss. And then note your mental state for areas of improvement. Did you rush into a trade? Were you not as patient as you could have been? Were you catching yourself feeling like gambly? Like, what are your emotions? What were you feeling inside when you were taking those trades? Mastering all 3 is how you win long term. So obviously you need a good strategy, you need a proven setup, of course, but then you also need a system around rules and risk, and then psychology as well. So honing in on your discipline and your emotions is what's going to keep you in this game long term. And so trust your system, master your mind, and that is how you win. If you're still watching, that shows me everything I need to know about you. It shows that you're serious, you're committed, and you're ready to become the version of yourself with full freedom, confidence, and financial control. So here are your next steps. Join my free course, the link is in the description, and get around traders who actually win so you can get a feel for what it's like to be a full-time trader. Stop trying to figure this out all alone and start building your system today. I'll see you inside. Thank you so much for watching, and remember that you do not need permission to want to change your life. All you need is one decision.